what it do? It's the same ones around me, no recruits. Stay down when it's cloudy, not a sun. I just want the cheese like where the Packers be. Never move out west to Hollywood, that's where the actors be. Never trust again if you had ever turned your back on me. Heard you got that bag, well I must have a hefty guy on me, yeah. Count up the loot, yeah, count it up. Call up the troops, we coming through, we coming through, we coming through, yeah. Count up the loot, yeah, count it up. Call up the troops, call up, we coming through, yeah, coming through, we coming through, yeah. Stacking my chips with the dip. I jump like a running back, my hit sick. This is not for fake, this is not pretend. I was always like this, just a white boy from the ends. Yeah. What I drive is not a rental. No, I had a long day, so she gave me dental. 2 phone numbers, no phones on me. I can't trust nobody but my own body. Wish I was a nobody, not a known body. Take my whole body, then I make a carbon copy. I just get the bag, then I whoop. Yeah. I just want the check like a swoosh. Yeah. Hop right up the jet to the coupe. Don't gotta be all up in the loops when you're the loop. Yeah. Count up the loot. Yeah. Call up the troops. We coming through. We coming through. Count up the loot. Call up the troops. We coming through. We coming through.
Yo, what's good, guys? What's going on? How are we this evening? Is sound check. Of course, we always have to do a little bit of sound check. How is the sound for you? Is the music too loud? I just want to make sure that you guys can have something in the background just in case I decide to have a little bit of vape and I don't want you guys to hear it. Oh man, what a day. What a day. Nothing interesting has been happening. I guess across the board people are getting all fudded up, but this stream tonight is going to try and help you understand why you don't need to be feeling that way. So without further ado, to anybody new in the stream and to all the existing pattern watchers, welcome to Traders Reality. I'm Tino. Let's have a conversation. So we need to understand what happened today. All right. Of course, there was a discussion, a meeting talking about cryptocurrency regulation, and we kind of saw some very interesting behavior. I'm going a little bit faster than I normally would, guys. Forgive me. I haven't acknowledged who's in the room. How are we all tonight, man? How we doing? Let me see who's in here. So sorry, guys. Solange, how you doing? PC Shed. John, what's good? What's good? Where we at? Where we at? Jason Casper. How we doing, my friend? I hope you're well, man. I hope you're well. Adam, how you doing? Thad, what's happening? OTV, Bella. Who else we got in here? Mad love, yo, yo, yo. Yes, the face reveal is coming. You're going to get a little bit of a surprise regarding that. So yeah, it's very interesting. Trust me, we got something brewing for you. No worries, Josh. No worries. Glad you're here. Glad you are here. Okay then. Here we go. So just a little bit of breakdown. Today I went live again at 2 p.m. All right. And this is what's going to be happening moving forward. On Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays, I'll be going live at 2 p.m. GMT to welcome in the New York session. All right. And it's just really to, talk about the potential of New York reversals that happen during New York time. It's a very busy time in the charts, or should I say in the marketplace as a whole, because you've got European liquidity and you've got the US liquidity all battling it out. Okay, it's two market makers, all right, are working the zones, working the retailers, working every order that can be taken in and around wherever price is. Okay, so we need to have a conversation, guys. All right. We need to understand what has happened today so that we can work out what's going to happen next. And remember, it's about the probability of it happening. Keep that in your mind. We will never know exactly what's going to happen next, but we can know for sure the probability of something happening, because if we have a probability of something, we know that it may fail. Most new traders come into the game, they take however long they take to understand and analyze and, work out a reason to open a trade. They open the trade, and even if it goes against them, they are married to their commitment of analysis. Do not be married to your analysis. At a moment's notice, be prepared to just completely disregard that trade and get ready for the next trade. Most of the time when I'm placing trades, I'm looking forward to the next opportunity, which keeps me on edge, getting ready to close the existing trade if I have a feeling that price isn't going to go my direction, which then leads me on to the next concept, which is how much time or how much money am I prepared to pay to be wrong? All right. And that's a question that you need to ask yourself every time you go into a trade. How much money are you prepared to pay to be wrong? And don't play the game of being irrational with your capital. The market maker can be irrational as much as he wants. If he doesn't recover a vector candle from one point to the next, that's up to him. It's his game. It's his playground. It's his business model. We're just here to just try and take advantage of when he goes up and when he goes down. Or should I say mark up and mark down. All right. So let's have a conversation about what Bitcoin has done today. Okay. So Asia last night. Now, Asia, you always got to consider what Asia does, because Asia usually sets up the intention for the rest of the week or the rest of the session. Okay. Asia brings price down. We do see a little bit of spiking volatility right here. Okay. So if I bring up for you MT4, you can see that pretty clearly. All right. MT4 shows the Asian session spiking above, hits the Asian high and pulls straight back. Now, the reason that had happened, and I'm going to be going over some of the concepts I discussed today at 2 o'clock. The reason this had happened is the market makers had triggered all the orders below the 200 EMA. I can't tell you how many traders are married to the idea of, price breaking a moving average. Okay. Price breaking the daily open, which is this purple line right here. Price breaking potentially any other moving average, pivot points. There are traders that trade so many different indicators and signals, and this is why you see this wicked out behavior. Okay, market makers trigger the orders to the downside, trap the liquidity to the downside, bring price all the way back up to hit their stops and liquidations, at the same time building their shorts at the highest possible point and making a run for profit to the downside. Asia initiates the building of longs, so price drops. UK steps in, the Brinks box initiates a continuation through. Okay, and then just before the New York session, they dump price and then shift it back up again. And now Bitcoin out of the UK session. Remember, I said to you guys earlier today, when London closes, the US will reveal its intention. Okay, we had two reversal points in the US session, guys. Hit the high and came back down, hit the low and come back up again. And then they spiked price down to this point, and then they spiked a little bit lower, but they hit the range daily low. The actual range daily low was here. Okay, and then they spiked a little bit below it and moved price away from that point. Now, all day today, we've been waiting for the range daily low. Okay, I've been expecting the range daily low to be taken because this vector candle right here wasn't convincing enough. All right. Now, for anybody that has been looking, you know, when you're drawing out patterns, I will tell you there will be so many M's and there will be so many W's that are presented on the chart. All right. Now, if you see a small W like this and you think, okay, this is going to be the point that they decide to turn, be prepared for failure because they don't always play out. If you can see so many M's and W's, you visually can see the pattern, but it's finding which pattern. And we have to take into consideration where we are in the cycle. Okay, so we have to go back. Where are we at right now with the cycle? So we've had the weekly cycle to the upside. Okay, price has formed an M formation. I advise you go and watch Monday night stream. Okay, because Monday night stream will explain to you how Bitcoin has come back down and recovered pretty much all the liquidity pools that we've been talking about. Okay, they've moved price all the way back down. They have yet to hit the 50 EMA, so it's sort of like a straightaway movement to the downside. So they mean business by moving price down. Now that they've brought price back down to the liquidity pool in this zone. Now this liquidity pool right here has got vector candles on the 5-minute and the 15-minute time frame. Very small vectors, but principally vector candles that they brought price back to. That's what's important. Okay. Now, earlier on today, we were trying to see if this W formation at the lows, okay, was going to hold. All right. We were waiting to see if it was going to hold. Now, granted, it looks like it kind of has held its zone, but we need to redraw this because what actually may be forming right here is potentially an inverted head and shoulders formation, which is like this. You've got this point here, then you have this point here, and then you have this point over here. That's what I'm expecting. All right. Now, the reason why I haven't factored this one in is because this wick down here, okay, has taken the previous low. All right. Now, if I flip over to MT4, I need to understand where we are with the RSI. Look at this. As price makes the new lows, we're getting divergence, guys. Prices, the RSI is rising as it comes to the lows. Tells me that the move to the downside is actually starting to slow down. So that means that we may get a retrace back up to the 50. Then we see another continuation back down so that we can take out the pools of liquidity that are in sight. Look, we're seeing it dropping down, dropping down. There's your divergence right there on the chart. You can see it. Look at the blue lines. The divergence is coming in right there. We've got now this pool of liquidity. And then finally, for this today's session, we've got a range daily high up here, range daily low, and range weekly low. Okay, so we're at the midpoint right now, waiting to see where they're going to send or take price. 200 EMAs flat, the 50 EMAs turning downwards. Are we going to see a death cross? You know, the infamous death cross that all the traders like to look at and make their decisions on. So what I'm projecting is the market maker is going to include, or should I say induce, the traders into preparing for a death cross to go short. They may bring price back down a little bit to carry and get more traders to go short. And then that is the point where they decide to flip price and make a move to the upside to trap all the guys who have traded the simple death cross. All right. When you're trading crosses, guys, you want to see the moving averages expand. Okay, so if we go back in time in the chart, okay, you see here's a cross. This is a golden cross. You want to see the 50 and the 200 expand like this before you even consider going long. All right, not at the moment that it happens, because look what happened here. Traders that looked at the golden cross right here, obviously they went long, and then price came all the way back down and took out all the stops, and then it shifted out of the zone. It's typical, isn't it? Every time you open a trade, okay, your stop gets hit, but then price goes in the desired direction that you were waiting for it to go to. How many traders or how many people have experienced this? Yeah? How many people have experienced this sort of situation? All right? This is what you got to factor in. And you'll notice with the way I break down price, okay, there is repetition. All right? We're looking at the same thing. because the moves develop. They don't just move price out of nowhere. There is development. All right, there you go. There you go. People are answering the questions there. If you don't put stops, try and avoid being irrational at the same time. Don't ever feel like you are better than the market maker. We have to be grateful for the market maker. He's created this business model for us to extract. All right, we like the market maker. He's a good guy. All right, the unfortunate souls, the moon boys, the retail traders who believe when price is rising, the buyers are in control, and when price is dropping, the sellers are in control. Those are the guys that we need to be grateful for, because it's a zero-sum game. One man's fun is another's hell. When they lose, you win. However, when you lose, they win. Which side do you want to be on, guys? Yeah? So, flipping back over to the chart, looks like Bitcoin coming out of the Sydney session is starting to rise back up. We need to drop down a couple of time frames just to establish exactly where are they likely to come and bring price back to. So looking at the vector candles as a whole, we can see we got one pool of liquidity right here, okay, which is at the pivot point. Now, if you look at the cycle that I've drawn here, you can see that we are sticking to the cycle so far. However, we haven't had a retrace back to the 50 EMA on the 1 hour time frame. And that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the 50 EMA on the 1 hour time frame to get retraced, because if it doesn't, then the move back up, you know, it may start off with a shock move back and then pull back down again. All right. But we have to also consider as well, guys, where is the nearest pool of liquidity for us right now? And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, this is where it's at, the 800 EMA. Now, if price does come back down to the 800 EMA, it will be hitting this previous pool of liquidity, but this is where you're going to see a lot of movement. All right. And if price does come down to the 800 EMA, it will be consistent with a weekly cycle. All right, remember, this is the 1 hour time frame. So they may bring price back up to the 50 EMA, form a rise level 1, drop back down again. Then they may break below this previous level right here, come back up again, test the 50, rise level 2, and then come down into this zone and form a formation at the 800 EMA. So in essence, what I'm waiting for is the following. And this is what you guys should do as well. Draw out what you're projecting. So we're waiting for price to come back up, drop, come back up, drop, W formation at the 800 EMA. That is fundamentally what we are waiting for. Okay, this is what we're waiting for. Now, there is a plethora of news coming out about crypto regulation. You've got people talking about Bitcoin. Elon said something about Dogecoin today, I guess. I mean, I didn't really pay attention to it. All right, I just had to look at price, which may be the reason why it spiked earlier on today. I don't know, but I've been paying attention to what they're showing me with price. If this stopping volume candle does hold, okay, then we may have found our low for now. This may be the point. But back to the title, okay? Back to the title of the actual stream tonight. Don't get fudded up. We are in a cyclical move, guys. We know that one point the cycle will revert back to going either continuously back up again and then form another cycle. This is what it's about. This is the weekly cycle. We started off on Monday with a move to the downside. Come on, look. How long has Bitcoin been rising up since? I mean, it needs to come back down a little bit. The market maker needs to make some money, doesn't he? And someone just mentioned something. Who was that question? What was that question? Forget it. Right, leave it. I missed it. Never mind. So look, Bitcoin now coming back up. Pretty decent of Bitcoin, isn't it? Someone told me a little trick today on how to actually flip between time frames. Let's see if I can get it right, but I'm not going to take that gamble in case I do it wrong. But look at what's going on here. Okay, notable volume breaks down price on the 5-minute time frame. It's good to look at the lower time frames because this is where you're going to see price develop. Okay, the moves develop, ladies and gentlemen. All right, they don't just happen, they develop. Look at the vector candles at the lows, pushing price down, but they're keeping price in the zone. I mean, there is a nice little pattern that you can see right here. Nice little 5-minute W formation, drop, rise up. Next projection will be effectively, Maybe the previous New York Brinks session, maybe. Break above the 200 EMA, retrace back down, continuation to the upside. All right, coming back up to the daily open, if my knowledge serves me correctly up here. Yesterday's daily open. That'll be a nice thing for Bitcoin to do. Look at the aggressive move right now on Bitcoin, man. Coming straight back up. It's like we found the low. Happy days. His price. Well done, Bitcoin. You've just confirmed the stopping volume candle, but we're not out the woods yet, ladies and gentlemen. We ain't even hit the 200 EMA. Before we hit the 50, we need to hit the 200 EMA for us to really understand if this is the move back up. But I haven't seen that much notable volume other than this big vector candle right here. Breaking it down on the lower time frames, I can see there is vector candles in and around the lows. That's fine. Okay, but is this enough liquidity for the market makers to shift out of the zone and move price higher? Green vector candle coming away from the lows at the start of the Asian session. Flip over to the 1 hour on the liquidity pool chart. So we can see when you start seeing this sort of behavior, vector candles of price dropping and coming straight back up, you know something's starting to change. Divergence is coming in. We've hit a previous pool of liquidity. We may now see price come back up and hit the 50 EMA. I'm waiting for the 50 to be taken. All right. If the 50 gets hit and then price pulls away, we'll be expecting this next area of liquidity to be taken and then working on the range daily low for the session, which takes us to this big bad boy pool of liquidity right here. That is where we should see a pattern. That is where I ideally want to see a pattern anyway. Okay. Let's just flip over to Ethereum for the guys who want to follow Ethereum. Ethereum is trading perfectly, guys. Look at how well she's holding the psychological low. Yeah. Look how great that is. They're holding this right now. They're holding cryptocurrency. Okay. They don't want to send it far. You know, they don't want to throw people off. They're just doing very well to hold this. All right. This is how it works. This is what you need to do. Yeah, DeFi. I'm always... Yeah, EIP upgrade tomorrow. So they could be actually... So, okay, so if there is an upgrade tomorrow, be careful, guys. Be careful. Because they may be holding price in this zone to accumulate more longs at lower prices. Now, is price coming back down because people aren't anticipating a smooth upgrade tomorrow? Or are there going to be any complications? Who's going to suffer from this upgrade? What are the repercussions of it? Okay, of course it's for the benefit, but there has to be a sacrifice. So, from my understanding, if they bring price back down and notable volume appears, then if the upgrade happens and it all goes well, we should see Ethereum make a nice big move to the upside. So let's consider what pools of liquidity there is for Ethereum to take out. There's the big daddy pool of liquidity right here that they came up to, and then they push price straight back down again. If they come back up and recover that zone, we are then going to be looking at potentially these next pools of liquidity for Ethereum. So that brings us towards the 3,000 mark. And then we've got more liquidity up here, which sits at the 3,100 zone. So we got guys, it's going to be a very interesting evening tomorrow even as well. Okay, it's going to be very interesting. Now, saying that, ladies and gentlemen, let me just flip back over to here. All right. Let's have a look at what has been going on across the board. All right. So Solana has done very well. Solana. I don't even know which one it is. I don't know. I don't care. I always get it wrong. Cake has done very well today. Been monitoring these guys today, and they're doing very well to hold their gains. Absolutely well. So when price, or should I say, when the money starts rolling into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP, the guys that have been leading the move or have been trading positively are going to explode. Okay? So you need to be mindful of that. All right? Let me just have a look at ADA then. Someone's asking for ADA. ADA just looks like she's trading smoothly. I like that. ADA doing really well at the 50 EMA. Now, the fact that ADA's trading well above the 50 EMA, okay, it keeps coming down to it, bouncing away from it. Nice smooth move to the upside. We do have previous pools of liquidity. She really needs to take out the $1.38 zone for us to even start considering looking back at what she previously had done. Or is this, if Ada's, when was the last time Ada hit this point? This is a 5-minute time frame. Goodness, let me just bring up the 1 hour. There it is. Okay then. So yeah, she's got a lot of work to do. Ada has a huge amount of work to do. Lots of ground to gain. I mean, look at this area right here, man. It's crazy. So she's got a lot of work to get through. She can break through the 138 zone, happy days, but I'm expecting a retrace at some point. At some point, I'm expecting a retrace. It's just, I need to see it. Maybe Ada's retrace had been done this week, okay, or yesterday. No, today. Yeah, this was at the Asian session, New York session. So they may have done the retrace to the 200 and the 800 EMA, which is turning upwards now. So that's a positive sign for Ada. So we could get a move out of the zone, retrace, continuation to the upside. Pay attention to the 5 and the 13 EMA on any of the currency pairs. Sorry, any of the crypto coins that you are trading. Okay? Because if you remember when Ethereum was making the move to the upside, she just wouldn't stop touching the 13 EMA and bouncing away from it. The 13 EMA was acting like the 50 EMA. All right? So just keep an eye out when price is in and around the 5 and the 13 EMA. If it closes below the 13 EMA aggressively, there may be a change in the momentum. Okay? But if it then breaks the 13 EMA and then closes back up above the 13 EMA, you know that's a stop hunt. All right? Are we cool? Are we cool? Are we all good with that? Please give me your 1s, give me your 2s, give me your 3s and 4s. Do we understand where we at right now? Yeah? Just reading your comments right now. Okay. Atom West, how you doing, my bro? How you doing? Wicked, wicked, wicked. For anybody new to the channel, thank you very much for passing through. Okay, make sure you subscribe. There's nothing more to it. We need to get this information out to as many retail traders as possible. We need to engage in realizations on how this game actually works. All right, and you know what? It's not rocket science. That's the messed up thing. It is easy to understand how the game works. You just need to understand basic concepts of economics, but not the economics that you think. Like when price is rising, it's not because the buyers are in control. It's because the sellers are in control, because you can only buy if someone sells. And the same token is when price is dropping down, you can only sell if someone buys. Would you walk into a shop where you couldn't buy anything and demand to buy something? The guy's going to look at you and say, I got nothing to sell, bro. What are you trying? Why are you even in this shop? Why am I even standing in a shop where there's nothing for me to sell? I'm just as bad as you. Yeah? That's what we need to keep in our mind. And when you understand that concept, that when price is dropping, it's not because the sellers are in control, it's because the buyers are in control. And you understand that the equilibrium that needs to happen between a transaction of a buyer and a seller, you're going to understand at what point they turn, okay? Because they're finished with building their longs to the downside. This move to the downside, guys, as much as we are expecting a cyclical move to the downside, with this upgrade tomorrow, price may actually form a pattern from now up until then, and then make a shift out of the zone and see a massive movement to the upside. All right? Mainly for Ethereum. Like, you know, we can't beat around the bush here. It's mainly Ethereum that's going to be making the move. Okay? Because she has actually been trading technically fantastic. Look at that. The 50 EMA on the 4-hour time frame is showing some great behavior. Okay? Fantastic behavior. Let's look at the sentiment across the board with investors. Gold is holding. Gold is holding, so it's not actually going back up since when it made a break towards the 50 EMA earlier on, but it recovered this previous vector candle. If you look on the 15-minute time frame, you will see a vector candle on gold that they wanted to take back. Where is it? There it is up there. Oh, it's actually on the lower time frames, 5-minute time frame. If I bring it back, where is it? There you go. You got this vector candle right there. Look at where the wick finishes. Look how despicable this is, ladies and gentlemen. The wick finishes. This wick effectively finishes just at the top. Look at where the red vector candle is on the left side of the chart, and look at where the wick is on the right side. Look at this area, then look at this area, and look at the precision right there. That's where the orders are. Okay, they brought price up. The Briggs box in the New York session initiated a stop hunt rise, drop, then another stop hunt rise, drop. So they really threw about all the investors. People didn't know where to put their money. They were scared. They were not scared. Risk on assets, risk off. They were getting scared, man. They didn't know where to put their money next. All right. So as it stands, ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin right now is holding in this zone. Okay. And the party may hold right now, guys, in anticipation for this upgrade. My advice, in my opinion, should I say, I wouldn't place any trades, because it's, you know, you don't want to get caught out in this upgrade, because they may spike price lower and then move it up. Just be careful. That's all I can advise you guys to do. Just proceed with caution. You know, don't feel like you're missing out on trades. Okay. Can I give us the 64, 64, 64? You guys, man, I knew you'd mention that. Someone would mention that. All right, the 64, 64 story was last night's video. Should I say on Monday night's video I uploaded. Okay. I was talking about Bitcoin hitting the 64 zone. Then all of a sudden, I just couldn't say the number 64. And I really struggled to say it. And then I realized that I struggled to say it. And I addressed it there and then. So I'm guessing a few people had a bit of a laugh and a joke regarding that. You know? So yeah, that pretty much, yeah, made myself look like a proper A. But yeah, that's another story. Steve, I can't believe you called me out on that. I can't believe that. Okay then, okay. I'm just looking into the chat right now, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a crazy day for me. All right, I'll be honest with you. It's been a little bit crazy. So yeah, let me look at the chat, see what questions you got for me. All right, Tino, can you please explain the weekly cycles and how much weight the assumptions hold relative to price action? Do the false move continuation reversal play into the WVVM VVW cycles? Thank you very much. Okay, then, cool. So how well do they hold? That's what you're asking. Okay. How much weight do they hold? Well, my friend, the business model itself, okay, is based on the cycles. Let me bring it to you. Here it is. This concept of cycles is from Forex. This strategy, or the hybrid system, is from Forex. All right? Now, Forex operates Monday to Friday. All right? So when we see this cyclical movement, okay, we see a pattern form on the weekend or Sunday night just before Monday. Price goes into a false move week beginning, rise level 1. Okay. Then the next day, rise level 2. Rise level 3, midweek reversal. Price comes down, rises up. Day 4, rise level 1. Drop, rise level 2, day 5. And then going in again to the new week, level 3 peak formation. And it happens over and over again. Now, remember, the structure of this cycle, there are variations to it. Some days you may just get a W formation, price goes straight into the level 1, pulls straight back down, then goes straight back up, no level 2, and it goes straight into a peak formation, hits a high and drops. But when you have the cycles in mind, okay, when you look back at what price has been doing, all right, so if I zoom out here, ladies and gentlemen, all right, and just bring it to you like this, you can sort of see how the cycle is coming into play. W formation, rise level 1, rise up level 2, rise up, oh, there it is, rise up level 3, peak formation. Now we've got the drop, waiting for the retrace. Hypothetically, if it's here, level 1. Yeah? Price comes back up, breaks down, level 2. Yeah? Then one more push, drops down, level 3, peak formation. The cycle is a set of behaviors. Okay? It's a set of behaviors by the market makers to induce traders to believe one thing is happening against the next. Consider the following. Right? When we had price in this zone, let me get rid of this. When price came into this zone right here and touched the 50 EMA, we had made the assumption that price was going to then form a rise level 1. A rise level 2. Okay? However, because price came up, broke the previous level, but came straight back down again, okay? It didn't qualify as a level 2, sorry, okay? We waited for price to rise up to form a level 3. Okay, this would have been deemed as a level 3 move from this point here because level 1 was down here, rise up level 2, and then we were waiting for a rise level 3. Okay, but because price didn't actually continue on and it came straight back down into the range of level 2, this whole area here would have been deemed as a level 2. Ladies and gentlemen, the cycles are one of the hardest things to establish because it's not about when you enter. It's about where you enter, but ultimately it's entering with the momentum and the cycle in your favor. Because once you've got the cycle down, it doesn't matter where you enter because you'll anticipate another move to the upside or to the downside at some point. The idea is to try and keep your risk to a certain minimum level where you don't sit through too much exposure whilst they're working their way away from a level or a zone. Okay? So, this would have been the level 2 move to the upside. All right? Then the level 3 hits. Price moves away from the 50 EMA. Notable volume appears at the highs. Market makers are getting ready to turn. Okay? These were the clues. Vector candles. Push, 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 push up. Three more pushes up here. 1, 2, and 3. Retail trader excited. Bitcoin's going to continue to the highs. You know, moon boy time. Elon, you know, what's going on, bro? Bitcoin's rising. Forget Dogecoin. Yeah? That's what was happening right here, ladies and gentlemen. Every move in this marketplace is influenced psychologically. It's because someone has an imbalance of fear and greed in their mind. They don't want to miss out on the move to the upside. You know how many guys brought this dip? The poor, unfortunate souls that brought the dip. They brought this dip because they didn't want to miss out on this move to the upside. And the market maker did a fantastic job of making them believe that it was going to continue higher. But as these guys, as the traders in the hybrid system, what do we wait for when we see a vector candle? Tell me what we wait for when we see the vector candle. What do we wait for? I know there's a 10-second delay, so take your time. Zach Trades, you said it, bro. Confirmation candle. All right. This is what happens. They spike the high, trap the retail trader, commit the liquidity, and then they bring it straight back down. Now that we've got this move to the downside, we are now seeing the cyclical play come into play. So what I'm saying to you guys is to just be mindful that yes, we are now coming down, but don't get all messed up. Don't think Bitcoin now is going to go all the way down to 30, 20K. You know, this move to the downside is consistent with the cycle. However, let's have a look at a bigger time frame just to put things into perspective for you. Look at this. What do you see? I see a pattern. I see a W formation that formed on the 4-hour time frame rise up. What happens whenever price moves out of the W formation? It does what? It retraces and tests the intention. Rise level 1 on the 4-hour time frame. We are in a level 1 retrace. We are now waiting to see if the 50 EMA is going to break above the 4-hour 800 EMA. All right, the 200 EMA is pointing upwards, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. The RSI on the higher time frame is back inside the volatility band. Could we see a very small W formation forming right here? Check this out, because the RSI is pretty good at doing that. Can you see it? Look at this. Drop. Rise up. Back in the volatility band. Come back down again. still within the volatility band. I'm expecting Bitcoin now to try and make some traction back up. Okay? The volatility band is too extended. It's wide, man. It needs to bring things back into the fray. All right? So this is the bigger picture. Remember, you can have cycles within cycles within cycles. You can have patterns within patterns within patterns. Do you know there are weekly cycles on the 1 minute time frame? You can see a whole weekly cycle in 60 minutes. Okay? A weekly cycle in 60 minutes. Purely off the 1 minute time frame. Yeah? Who's done that? Praetorian, what are you doing, my friend? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that, my man. God bless you, bro. Didn't have to do that, man, but thank you very much. All you guys need to do is just like the stream and subscribe. That's free of charge. Praetorian, all you had to do was just like and subscribe, my friend. You didn't have to do that, bro. But thank you very much, man. All right. Okay. 1 minute scalping techniques. Strategies, tips, and tricks. All right, then. I'm going to finalize the stream, but I'm going to give you some scalping techniques. Let's have a conversation. Here we go. Let me just bring the chart, the scalping chart as such. Well, actually, I'll use TradingView for that purpose. All right. Let's drop down to the 1 minute time frame. Right. Here we go. Right. Hold on. Okay. All right, are we ready for this? Quick look at this, and then I'll let you guys be. My voice is starting to go. I've got to protect it. Here we go. So, 1 minute scalping. First things first, ladies and gentlemen, scalping is not for the faint-hearted. All right? You can't be a scalper and then turn into a swing trader. Granted, sometimes I do that. All right? I do that. But when I scalp on dollar yen. I've been watching that bad boy for the past 6 years. Okay? I actually traded her only for 6 years. But my game of trading, 11 years solid doing this game. Scalping has been the thing for me. All right? Why scalping? It's my nature. I'm impulsive. All right? If I see an opportunity, I'm taking it. At the same token, if I see the trade is not working, I'm out. Don't make the mistake of thinking that your scalp can turn into a swing trade just because you're making money. All right? If you enter, hypothetically, in a position with Bitcoin and it goes in your favor, close the trade. It doesn't matter if it continues higher because you never knew it was going to continue higher. You're operating in the realm of uncertainty. So the one trick or tip that I give you, or should I say rule, is to pay yourself when you're scalping. Because scalping gives you the luxury of paying yourself so frequently. Look at it from the perspective of a swing trader. A swing trader may have to wait days and weeks before he can actually open a trade. And when he opens his trade, okay, he's got a massive risk tolerance. He's going to sit through, right, in light of Forex, he could sit through 50 to 100 pip exposure. Now, he could be in a losing position for 3 days before he could actually realize a return. Do you understand how many pips a scalper can make whilst the swing trader is trying to earn 100 pips? Think about it. If a swing trader tries to earn 100 pips from one single move, okay, if he has to be in a negative position for 3 days, you saying to me that you can't place 20 trades, okay, or 20 scalps and make 5 pips every time, you would achieve the same amount of pips in the less amount of time. There have been days where I've opened and closed probably about 300-400 trades. I'm literally scalping every peak away from the 50 EMA, which is your next tip. Be mindful when price moves away from the 50 EMA on the 1 minute time frame. 9 times out of 10, it's going to come back to it. All right? Go back in the chart and look. Go back and look at how many times price deviates away from the 50 EMA. When I say deviates, as in you can see a clear expansion away from the 50, it always comes back down. All right, here we go. Move away from the 50. How long it stays away from the 50 is the key to it. All right, you've got to try and work out the likelihood of them coming back up into it. And what you need to focus on is the behavior of when it starts to stall in and around this zone. If you were to consider the RSI at this instance, look at what happened here. Price was coming down. The RSI was going flat. It wasn't pointing downwards. Volatility outside the volatility band at this low. As price starts to drop, you can sense that there's divergence. Something's going to change. And then it forms a little shark fin right here at the low and then comes straight back up, retraces back down, forms a little W formation on the 1 minute time frame right there. Your candle, green vector candle, would have been the trigger. You enter long here, for example, or even on the close, and you would have been able to realize a nice little return up for a quick scalp. Happy days, go home and drink a cup of tea. That's how easy it is. Okay? But the idea is to not get caught up in these marginal retraces away from the 50. Look, that could make you believe that price was moving away from the 50, but look at how quick it came back into it. You want to see a clear expansion, an expanded move away from the 50. That's what you want. Okay, let's look back again. This right here, perfect example. Beautiful example. When you see price aggressively break away from the 50 EMA and starts going crazy, wait for it to stabilize, because the moment that the candle holds the actual move from the downside, you know that the retrace back to the 50 is going to happen. Okay? Thank you very much, Noli. Thank you so much. God bless you, man. Yeah, thank you so much. Do you use leverage when scalping? All depends. It all depends what I'm trying to do. You know, if I'm building positions, then I won't use leverage on my IC Markets account. If I am scalping, I will use leverage because I want to take advantage of not having to put up so much money, but get a lot of exposure on, well, take advantage of more buying power for a short moment of time. All right, because if I were to use the leverage on the account, I would effectively have to pay a very big swap because of the exposure to the broker. All right, so that's another conversation that we can have at another point. All right, but other than that, ladies and gentlemen, okay, I've got a couple of reminders for you, just quick ones. I've said it earlier. Be sure to like and subscribe. It's free of charge. All right, and if you're thinking of joining Patreon, now's probably the best time to do it, because now you won't be charged. That is that is a cost. So if you prefer to like and subscribe, happy days. Ladies and gentlemen, other than that, I want to thank you for your time. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and thank you so much for passing through to today's live stream as well. We're going to be rolling again tomorrow at 2 p.m. All right, and again at 10. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Traders Reality, but more importantly, this is the hardest, easiest way to make money. All right, just keep that in mind. Take care of yourselves, guys. Peace.